Welcome back to the Brand Builders Lab podcast. Awesome to have you here. We are on episode 5 of our Scaling Your Business with Group programs. I'm loving it. We've got amazing listeners. If you are enjoying it, let me know. If you've got any questions, let me know. We're still another 2 episodes away from the end of the series. But today we're talking all about building your audience. And I know that this is such a big thing for so many people, which totally makes sense. You do not want to launch to crickets. You do not want to be selling to nobody, because obviously that's not what we want. Now, when it comes to building your audience, the one thing that we want to really focus on here is building the audience that's right for your product. So, for example, if you're somebody that's been in the done for you arena, so you've been a service-based business who does things for people, they're people that are more than happy to pay you to do what it is that they need. And so they may or they may not be your ideal client if you're building a program where you're teaching somebody how to do it. So you've got to think about it like this. You will already potentially have your email list, you'll have your socials, etc., and you've built a certain type of audience. They have been interested in what you have to date. They've been interested in obviously what you teach and what you say. And so when you're looking at shifting your business model and adding in digital programs, and there's lots of different ones. We've already talked about this. It depends on what you're building and who it's for. Then we need to understand exactly this program that you're building now. Who is that going to be for? What is the transformation going to be? So there's 3 things I want to talk about today when it comes to building your audience. The 3 things, or the first thing, is clarity. So clarity on what the product will do and how it sits within your product suite, and also where it sits positioned when it comes to your audience. For example, the mastermind that I run is a higher ticket price. I've then got BBA, which is also, some people would consider a higher ticket or midpoint ticket. It's like 2,000 USD. And then I've got some smaller price products. So DIY stuff like podcast brand plans, simple sales, anything from like, say, $150 through to $500 would be your midpoint. And then obviously a low ticket offer is something that could be anything from $10, $27 through to $149 or something like that. So you can kind of see the 3 different levels. But we want to really know who exactly are we targeting when it comes to this product or service. So the clarity around the who means that we can understand what stage of business are they at? What are the problems that they're experiencing? How are they feeling? What are they thinking? What is the message that we need to really wrap into or around this digital program or product? Because obviously it's then going to speak to them. So I'll give you an example, is that I know somebody with a social media membership. And so she's always talking about like how to sell on socials, how to create great content, how to get engagement, how to do X, Y, and Z. And so it's a very specific problem. There are people out there who are always like, how do I grow my Instagram? How do I grow my revenue? And so that product and the messaging speaks directly to them. When it comes to BBA, you know that the message is all about how to get the system, strategies, and structures in place in your business so that you can build and grow. And I've already talked about the different types of clients that come into that. But really leaning into and listening to what the language is now can help you gain a lot of clarity around how you message and articulate the transformation and who the product is for. And so as soon as you decide what kind of program you want to start building, you need to start thinking about the messaging around it and building the audience from now. And so you might get onto your socials and say, I'm really excited. I was talking to a client about this the other day, actually, where I said, you've got to take them on the journey. I'm really excited. We're going to be creating this new program that's coming. One of the reasons that we wanted to do it was X, Y, and Z. And so, if you're interested, join the wait list or follow along, whatever the language is or whatever your strategy is going to be. And so now we're starting to build the interest and the audience around exactly what it is that we're trying to create, and launch, and the transformation for them. So I think that clarity piece is a really important one. You've got to be super clear. And I think that this is where a lot of people don't go deep enough. They're not going into the psychographics of the client, of what are they thinking about late at night? What are they sitting and feeling? What is the deep desire that they have? And so having clarity around that means that you can build an audience that resonates with that message. The second thing when it comes to building the audience is the strategy. So obviously we want to potentially either build our socials, but at the end of the day, it's always the number one goal is building your email. Why? Because your email doesn't have an algorithm. So building your email list means that you're going to be getting that message through to people on a much higher basis. So, when we think about if I've got 1,000 people on my Instagram or on my socials and only 2% of them see it, that's not very much. If I've got 1,000 people on my list and my open rate is anything from like 30 to 50%, then a lot more people are going to be seeing it. So we want to have a multi-pronged approach to this where we're communicating what it is that we're doing, why we're doing it, who it's for, how it can help, what the transformation is, etc. But the strategy around building your audience needs to be a long-form strategy where you've got your 90, 60, 30-day strategy of building, growing, launching, etc. And so really understanding that and knowing that and putting that in place as far as your strategy goes is important. And so I want you to really think about where is the platform that you love to be? Where is your audience? Because if you're maybe in the corporate space, leadership space, legal space, wherever that might be, then LinkedIn might be the best place. And really during the process of building your audience, using all the tools at your disposal and really leaning into your strengths. So as you know, I can talk underwater. So things like reels, podcasting, going live, creating videos, that's my strength. That's where I like to hang because I find it easy to do that. If you're somebody who writes really well, then lean into that strength. But align your strategy with where the attention is, what you like to do the most, and what you think that you can do consistently during the period from the time you make a decision to create through to your launch as well. But as I said before, and we've talked about in previous episodes, this is going to depend on the strategy that you use when it comes to launching. So the first thing is clarity. The second thing is strategy. And the third thing that we love and that we're all about here is systems. So when you're building your audience, what systems are you using? Systems could be things like having an evergreen funnel that's building your list, using ManyChat where people comment the word and then they go and they sign up for something, using other systems where you are repurposing content that you've done before. Whatever is a system, and you can have a technical system or you can have a system and process that your team executes on. A VA can execute on this, but really mapping out what are the systems that we want to use as we build our audience. What platforms are we going to use? What's our scheduling going to be? What are the technical elements that we need to be using or having within the process of building our audience? What's going to work for us as well? So just know that it doesn't have to be something that you bring into your business and you have forever. It could be for a period of time. But I also think it's just about sitting down and mapping out what is the strategy we're going to use, where are we going to be, and then what systems do we need in order to execute that really well. And I think that can help to build your audience, not only organically, but potentially through paid ads, as well as through like automations that you've got too. And really engaging the audience that you've got so that they know that this is coming or that this is something that they can get from you. Because I also think that if you had higher priced products, people might follow you because they just really love what you talk about, but maybe they've not been able to afford to work with you up until now. And so you might have that part of your audience who are like, oh my gosh, finally, like I can work with you and I can afford to work with you to do this or get this outcome. And so now they're all in. And so really communicating that with them is going to be of value. So I want you to think about how you can think about the way in which you're going to build your audience and what it is you love doing, what's working, and how you can really front load it and make it as easy for yourself as possible. And obviously, we'll be working through all of this when we work together in Amplify, so that you can stop waiting and finally create your digital program and products. And I'm very excited because we're building out some new digital products at the moment too, which are going to be lower price products. And I cannot wait to share these, because I know that if somebody was to buy it and spend $37, $49, $100 on it, that they're my clients. They're my ideal clients because, number one, they're willing to spend the money on something like that. And then the next step would be for us to work in something bigger together. But the product that I'm creating, because it is targeted at the audience that I want, I know that my next product is perfect for them as well. So this is really the strategy of building the audiences that want what you have at different stages and different levels of where they are in their journey. Yeah. So we want to make this fun. We want to make this something that we can do and that can be systemized in your business as much as possible as well. So if you've got any questions about that, let me know. We're going to be heading into episode number 6 soon, which is all about marketing as well. And then we're going to be talking about launching, and then we're going to do a Q&A. So lots more to come. Cannot wait to dive into it with you. Loving creating this series, and I'll see you in the next episode.